In this episode of Playlog, we're talking about our first ever flight, our first ever PAX East, and our first ever time playing a bunch of cool indie games. That's staying in. That's not fuck. Okay, anyway. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another Playlog, the podcast that exists sometimes, and other times just devoid of things that we call on YouTube. Anyway, we went to PAX East.
Avoid of things we call YouTube.
I'm pretty sure I read the script wrong. I don't know what I wrote. I wrote it earlier in the day. But hey, before we get started talking about all the fun stuff, these gentlemen may not need an introduction. But of course, if you're new here and you have no idea what's going on, you just want to hear something about PAX, we'll go around the circle. Of course, I am CGDannyB, owner of the channel. But directly to my right on your screen, Connor. Hello.
Hi, I'm Connor. I stream over on Twitch at HoboMonkey80B0Monkey. And I do TikToks that are either my clips from my stream or D&D.
The social media has changed. No, I gotta fix it later. It's fine. It's fine. And then directly beneath me, as always, is Christopher RV2.
Hi guys, I do things sometimes.
Christopher RV2.
Same name, Chris RV2 on all socials and all platforms. I do things.
And last but certainly not least, my caddy corner compadre, Kanai.
My name is Kanai. I also go by Dwarven _ Lion, depending on where you find me. It's pretty much one of those anywhere you look. I'm currently dead unless Danny needs me for a video. And I'm a level 0 aperture employee that you can't see because my light is blowing it out. But I received that from PAX.
When did you get that?
I got it, so you didn't see it, but I got a picture.
Oh, yeah.
I got a picture of a sexy GLaDOS while I was at
Okay,
PAX.
okay, I forgot she
And,
was there.
I have a badge
yeah.
too. He snagged me a badge.
Yeah, she gave me goodie bags that had this aperture ID, and then it also has a bunch of like weird cartoon girl stickers of her like ripping a bong.
Yeah.
Yo, nice.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking wild.
We got the at or
Yeah, her at is Shay the Gay.
Shay the Gay?
All
Appreciate
right,
you.
hey. Shout out Shay the Gay.
Shay the Gay, real one. We met a lot of cosplayers this weekend. We met a lot of people this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's been a long weekend. We gave our day of recuper. Yeah, it is. Our 1 day of recuperation, and now we have to talk about everything that went on over the weekend. We will talk about all the games we played. We each talk about 3 in particular, and then we'll all talk about one that we wish we got a chance to play, whether it be because of lines or the booth or blah blah blah. But of course, for 3/4 of the group, this was our first ever flight. So out of all people, we're gonna ask Connor first. How was your flight to Boston, Connor?
Let me tell you something about flying. No, overall, I think it's fair to say of everyone, I had the worst experience. That was due to some circumstances of me having to hop onto the trip a little later than everyone else. Just making sure I could make the time work. So let's see. It started with I boarded on a later group than you guys, and you guys, in the moment, I didn't realize or appreciate, but tried to save me a seat. Could not. So I had to sit in the middle seat next to someone who it was just kind of an uncomfortable spot. I had to check my bag. The airport was like, hey, there's going to be no overhead space. It's a packed flight. Check your bag. Only to find out there was plenty of overhead space. Did not need to check my bag. And then in my head, I'm like, listen, planes have Wi-Fi. I'll get some Wi-Fi. We'll listen to some Spotify. I'll just take a nap or something, or I'll watch a YouTube video. Only to find out that the plane's Wi-Fi was not working. And then I'm like, okay, listen, maybe I need a drink just to calm my nerves, just to settle. I'm feeling a little hot right now. And then they're like, by the way, it's going to be turbulence the whole way. No in-flight service. So I was like, well, the only next worst thing that could happen is the plane goes down. And at least then everyone goes with no. Overall, not a great experience down. My flight back was much better.
We got the
it was just one thing after another. Yeah. It was one thing after another, and then it just was like I was worried for somehow I was going to lose my bag, and then I was just going to be miserable the whole weekend. But it worked out in the end. I would fly again. I just probably not going to be my first idea of transport.
Listen, next time we could always take a train. How about you, Kanai? Your first flight as well.
So a bunch of people at work asked me today, like, what was your first flight like? And I said, it's crazy. It was kind of like a bus in the sky, really fast.
Yep. Yeah. I said the same thing to people.
Yeah. I've been on multiple public buses. I've been on multiple, like, long distance cross state buses, and it felt a lot like that in terms of, like, spacing.
Mm-hmm.
And other than, like, the fucking roller coaster neck snapback when it launches.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, and hitting the ground like fucking fun. Yeah, it was fun. But like, other than those two things, it's pretty much a bus trip.
Yeah.
But you do get some really pretty views from a plane.
Yeah, we do.
And you get there a lot faster than a bus.
You could peek out the window, Connor. Just take a look over the shoulder.
Like maybe a sliver. I think on my way back, I had to. The row I was in didn't have a window. Which sucks because with the size of the person, I could have easily seen said window.
Yeah.
So to see the window, I would have to. I'm going to simulate this in my desk chair. I had to pretty much. Danny was sitting behind me, and I had to go. Oh, where are we?
In the air.
I was breaking my neck to get a view.
Chris, I'll ask you in a second about being the veteran flyer of the group and how that was.
Thank you for your service.
I had mentioned multiple times going in. I wasn't concerned with the flight. I wasn't concerned with the plane, dying in the air, anything like that. My concern was TSA. Because the movies and everything else are all just like, you're going to sneeze the wrong direction and someone's going to think you have a bomb. You're going to, your shoelace is going to be tied in a funny way and they're going to think you have like a knife in your soul. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. And like any dumb thing was going to happen. On the way to Boston, I think we were totally good, but really just like annoyed like employees. Like everyone's like, this is what I expected the energy to be like. The return flight.
I got mad at me for my floss.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I got like a sweet stand-up joke out of that.
Yeah,
to be fair,
there.
BWI is a very heavy transport. People are constantly going in and out. Those people are so burnt out.
Yeah, no, I get it.
No, because when we went through, they make you take your belt and everything off.
Yeah.
And so we got all that figured out. I get in the machine. You got to put your hands up for a couple seconds while they scan you or whatever. And like they do it and then it stops. And the guy's like, sir, you need to pull your pants up. When they bunch, the machine has trouble seeing through. And I wanted to be like, why is your machine that I have to take my fucking belt off for? Why is the weakness like baggy pants? That's the worst idea.
Because you also have to stand like legs apart and hands up.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
you
I
can't
can't
just like,
hold them up. Yeah, so it's a mess. I hated that part. Luckily, I just wore sweatpants to and from the airport. So I was just like, drawstring, we're good. We're set. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't go jeans or anything those days. It would have been annoying.
And to think people are afraid of technology taking over. Just think about that. Baggy pants.
Yeah, we just have to wear baggy clothes.
That's what stops me.
There's an episode of Jimmy Neutron where the pants technology takes over.
True. That's true.
Honestly,
then we're screwed.
we're done for.
But yeah, outside of that, like the flight was fine. Like I know Kanai mentioned like the Kanai or Connor, whoever mentioned the takeoff, like whiplash going like in the initial launch. Mine was the moment of leaving the ground, not so much the starting, but the moment I left the ground, I'm like, oh no, there's no going back. Now it's officially like we're up. There is no down now until we land. And I was driving for like 3 seconds, and I was like, no, it's fine. It's good.
When I was in the past TSA, I'm like, here we are, we're going now. Like no one doing this shit.
Just gotta go out there and do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing, baby. Chris, how was your flight to Boston?
Honestly, typical experience. Nothing out of the ordinary from what I'm used to. The only thing I will say is that all it did was just secure. Delta and JetBlue, baby. Those are like the top two services.
Oh, really?
Southwest can suck a dick.
Okay. Well, see, I would say like I got to keep flying Southwest because I earned my points through that, but they screwed up my account, so now I have a flight with 0 points. So I guess next time I'll just go wherever.
Yeah, because I mean, also just saying, Delta and JetBlue, free Wi-Fi. And they have LCDs in the back of the headset. Yeah. So
see, that's what I was expecting. And then the flight that we went back and they're like, hey, we have Wi-Fi. And then like, by the way, it's $8. I'm like,
No. I'm going to talk about this. And now I'm pissed off about this because I was trying to buy the Wi-Fi because I couldn't talk to you guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll buy the Wi-Fi, right? And I was like, $8 at this point with how much money we spent this weekend. What's $8?
What's $8?
So I go in. That fucking website is a labyrinth only on the level Daedalus could construct.
I could not figure it out.
Like, I shit you not, I sat there for what felt like 15 minutes fucking with it, dude. It was just like, oh, you want Wi-Fi? I'm like, yes, please connect me to Wi-Fi on my phone. It's like, okay, we'll take you to the site, copy this link, put it in your browser, and then you can follow the prompts. I'm like, perfect, copy, paste. And then it's like a list of the in-flight entertainment. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I scroll down to Wi-Fi, and it says, yep, $8 Wi-Fi. And I was like, oh, great. And I go to click the text that is like link blue.
Yeah.
You know, which is also Southwest blue, I guess.
Yeah.
So like, well, that's not it. And then I'm kind of clicking around. I'm like, I'm not seeing anything. And then I'm like, well, maybe I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes, yep, $8 for Wi-Fi. I'm like, yes, I would like that. It's like, there sure is $8 Wi-Fi here. Right, yes, I would like to partake in said Wi-Fi. Yep, that's right. We're the home to $8 Wi-Fi. And I'm like, okay, but how do I access this? This was I was stuck. I was Sisyphus for 15 minutes while I was fucked with that.
I could not figure it out either. I gave up much sooner than you did. I got to the catalog of movies, but the catalog was like, here's everything you can watch, but not how to watch it. And I'm clicking on it, I'm like, there's no there's no play button, so I don't know what to do. So I'm scrolling through it, and like, there's Barbie, there was Frozen, and then I saw the Green Book. I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen this yet. So I finally got to the page where I could watch the Green Book. I watched the first like 5 minutes, and then somehow in the sky we got 4G again, so it disconnected me from the whole thing. So I had to go back in, turn off the 4G, and then it made me start the movie over again. And then I kind of scrolled back to where I was. Then we're like, we'll be descending in 5 minutes. I'm like, I barely got to watch the Green Book. And I guess it's not streaming anywhere, so now I have to freaking rent it or something to watch the Mahershala Ali movie.
Again.
You know,
honestly, just fly.
Let me book a flight. I'm going back to Boston.
Just to see the Green Book.
Just to see the Green Book.
This flight doesn't end until I finish the movie.
even if like the moment we flew, like I still would have only gotten through half the movie because it was like a 50 to hour 10-minute flight one way or the other. And yeah, so I was like, I'm never gonna finish this movie on the plane. Planes are cool. Planes are a fun time, sort of, kind of. But you know what else is a fun time? Freaking Boston. When we actually landed for the panel. Do you guys have anything to say about Boston as like a city?
Those fucking drivers, man. The amount of guts and balls they have. The fact that we've had several drivers be like, yeah, don't put your turn signals on because they're never going to let you over. And the amount of accidents that we almost bared witness to. I'm never driving through that city.
Yeah, I can only think of the one where we like both went to turn and then the guy turned off his turn signal and went to go straight. And we're like, yeah, that was whew. He got 1 star that day.
Well, it was funny because I think our first day there, Chris was like brewing this little idea in his head where he's like, listen, next year, 2 of us drive up, 2 of us fly, and then we have a car. And it was like, yeah. And then we got done our first Uber. Chris is like, I think we all should fly next year.
Yep. We're just sticking to Uber. I don't have the patience for that shit.
I kind of feel sad we didn't really get to see Boston.
Sure.
Our whole hotel situation was weird, but there was the one night, Danny, me and you went downtown to the Seaport District, I think.
Yeah, Seaport District.
And it was like that was a really nice part of town. There were a lot of like bars. I was like, listen, if next time we just go for 3 days or whatever, and then take a day to do that, or even like one night, leave early, commit to like doing some bar hopping and stuff, I'd be down. It looked fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. The first night I went to go record the 6-minute cast. You guys hung back at the hotel. And then night 3, we went to do the same thing, but I took a longer time the first night. So Connor's like, I'll come back. I'm like, Danny, time to bounce, bud. Let's get out of here. And then with the 6-1 guys, Mike and Kyle, great dudes. Also had to take care of some stuff with some of the developers. They ended up getting there later, and then when they got there later, I think also a bunch of people from the video game Tinder panel, as well as just a bunch of the other dudes, Jacob McCord, Joseph, a bunch of other people showed up. I think it was like 20 of us sitting in the lobby. I was like, I thought it was going to be a podcast, not a party, and it just turned into a party. Didn't do any podcasting that night. I was like, you know what? It sucks I kind of got like drug out here for that, But you seem pretty chill. Just be like, we just hung out. It's
yeah,
fine.
it was fun. It was fun to talk to those guys and like meet some people, talk to some people we hung out with on Thursday. It was a good time. I think it was just unfortunate because both of us still had to pack our bags for the next day when we were leaving.
Right.
And so when we didn't get back to the hotel until 1.
Yeah, 1:30.
It was I was definitely like, me and Kanai shared a room. He was passed out, and I was like by the book light on my bed, trying to like pack my bag, and it was like I was just exhausted. I'm like, oh my god, like just rolling clothes and shit. It was a mess, but
Chris,
I think
died
it
over
was,
there, bud.
it was worth it to hang out with those guys. Chris has become one with Mother Void. He's back.
Chris got to fix his timer mode. It's all right. Do your thing, bud. I believe in you. Either power through or...
We'll power through. We'll power through.
How's your trip to Boston? Sorry, my mouse keeps covering the thing. I keep squealing over.
Boston was Philly with better people and worse driving.
Yeah, that's valid.
I stand by that. Where there's like nice parts, interesting city, lots of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Nowhere near enough time in a weekend to do it. But Philly, every time I've been to the city of quote unquote brotherly love, everybody's been an asshole to me for no reason. And the driving's been fine.
Yeah.
Go to PAX Unplugged. It's in Philadelphia.
But
listen, I might be. I don't know.
Driving in Philly is fine. It's just the people that you interact with in Philly are rough.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Come on, Philly. You're more brotherly, man. We appreciate you guys.
Do it while like WrestleMania is there, please. Like clean up your act.
Is that this year?
Yeah, okay, during the sporting event.
Yeah,
Oh,
Philadelphia.
Oh, good thing we're sitting in Discord watching that.
Yep.
Let me think. I don't have much else to say about like the city of Boston. Again, we kind of spent like 99% of the time at either the hotel or the convention center. So, convention was dope. I think our first day was a lot of, I know for me personally, I did a lot of booking appointments going into it. It's all of our first PAX. My first PAX I got in as a creator. I had both the creator badge and a special guest badge that was on the Between Two Screens retrospective of the DS panel with Jacob McCord, Jenny Wyndham, a bunch of other creators. And I spent that first day like, I'm important here. I got to make all these appointments that I can. And I think like day 1 and 3 are probably my busiest, where I had like 6 or 7 appointments like each day. So it's a lot of like bouncing around like, hey guys, I'm back. But by the way, I got to turn around the other way and I'm doing a 4-player one. You guys coming? I'm going that way. Just kidding. I got to go all the way. Oh, this one's busy. I won't even bother them. I'll go back to this one. So it was really busy for me. A lot of steps in that day. And my phone did not count them all. It was like, you took 2,000 steps. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's definitely not true. That can't be correct. So I definitely think next year the plan is just to book like some of the more essential ones, maybe the cool sweet ones like Apogee. That was pretty great. Pickpock, also really cool. I'll talk about some of those games in a bit. But yeah, I think being able to explore that first day where it's a lot slower, and then maybe finding, I'm playing around with an Allen wrench while we're sitting here. But also Sunday, I think if we don't plan to leave right away and make that also like another slower day where we can kind of hit panels, see things that are like super inexpensive because companies don't want to take their shit back with them. And definitely kind of find like a little more balance to hang out with people and see Boston on those like Friday, Saturday type days. But yeah, I really, really liked PAX as a whole. PAX was fun.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Like it was definitely like an experience that like I will, as long as we're like still friends and all doing stuff, I think that's like always like on the docket of just like shit to do to do throughout the years.
Yeah.
Especially like being able to like meet new people, talk to like new people. It was just fun to connect and just be outside of like the norm. It felt very nice and comfortable.
And I think we all said like to meet. I mean, look, we all create or have created in the past at one point online via streams or whatever, right?
Mm.
But I think without trying, we kind of do exist pretty comfortably in our own little bubble, the streamer boys. And I think we all said it was really cool to like meet a bunch of people very similarly, like very similar level. And it was like, oh, okay, there's a lot more people out here that are doing this, and it doesn't feel so isolated, and like, you know, there's other avenues to go. Like, I think there'll always be this group, but it was nice to like meet like Jacob. Like, he was cool, and like 6-1 Indie guys were awesome, and you know, all that crew, like Joseph
Huber, Matt Storm, Jeff,
all of them were great.
Yeah, it's like the fact that it was like our first time like meeting them like officially, and it's just like acting like we've been friends for like a long ass time.
Yeah, it was real
really
quick.
nice.
It didn't take long. I think the day of the panel, which would have been knowing these guys for like what, 3 days really?
Some maybe 2, some maybe 1.
Yeah.
I saw Jacob. I'm like, there he is. And he's like, here I am, like my favorite adorable Canadian. And he's like, no, shut. Like, it was very like a vibe.
Burb's gonna hear you say, I'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Well, Burb drinks, you know, Burb says some dumb shit.
Burb drinks
like
bag of milk.
osmosis milk through his arms or something.
Yeah. Burb doesn't drink water, so I don't know, man.
Drink
Sorry,
water
Burb.
and spell right, and then maybe.
Damn,
maybe.
yikes! I shouldn't even said the name, Burb. I'm sorry. You're enjoying so comfortably.
Burb just exists, and he's just like, what the fuck, guys?
But yeah, I had mentioned the night we went for the podcast that it turned into just a hangout kind of session. A lot of these people that like I've worked with in whether it be the 6-1 IndieCast, Side Quest for Fun and Games podcast, just talking to Jacob and being part of the panel, like a bunch of kind of funny best friends that like I've never been able to go do an actual like kind of funny live event, whether it's one of the live convention type deals, kind of funny prom, anything like that. So there was a night we were sitting there. I'm looking at people, Joel across the room wearing like the shirtless Spider-Man shirt that I'm wearing now. And I'm like, I'm with my people now. And of course you guys are my people, but like in terms of like my my kind of funny people.
Whoa.
My kind of funny people.
Damn, you go to a different PAX? Jesus.
Might have. I was trying to say honey because of course we ran into some of us ran into honey.
That's our best friend. Come on, man.
I got better pictures.
Yeah, I still need those. I didn't get that picture yet. I need that picture on my phone.
Oh yeah, I got you right now.
But yeah, you run into some celebrities over there at PAX?
Yeah. So. Much like
pretty big deal.
So much like Chris and Connor had said, really cool getting to meet all these people. It was interesting because typically as people who play video games as like a main hobby, I feel like you expect to meet people and be like, I play video games. And they're like, do you play like Call of Duty or World of Warcraft? Do you play name the popular ones that their cousin plays or something? And these people, I could be like, I like these. And they're like, oh, like what? And then they want to know more. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. So yeah, everybody mentioned was great. It was awesome to meet them. It was cool to see vendors I didn't expect to see there. And I just so happened to run into Thousand Honey day one. Everybody is like, oh man, is that Honey? And then everybody's like, holy shit, it is. She's dressed as Bowsette. And then everyone's like, that's cool. And starts walking away. I was like, I'm gonna go get a picture. So I walk over and I go get a picture with her. She's like super excited. She's like, can I like put my leg up? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Or no. Leg up was Chris. She asked that was
me.
day 2.
That was me.
She asked if she could put her hand on my chest, and I said that's fine. So then day 2, we're walking around and I find her again by myself because like everybody kind of split off at a point, and I was like, oh my god. And she's like, hey, you're the guy from yesterday. I was like, yeah, can we just get another picture because you're in a different outfit? She's like, yeah, sure. So then she was dressed like Koala from One Piece. Same thing, just hand on my chest, another one where it wasn't. Later I find Chris. Me and Chris run into her again, and she had then advised me, if I find any of my friends, tell them that they can take pictures with her and it's fine. So I was like, hey, I found one of them, and she's like, perfect. And then she did this thing throughout the weekend where she just goes, I think I want to try something, and then she proceeds to,
So like we took like one set of photos, and then like you know, like I just like had my arm around her, she had her arm around me, she was like looking off, like whatever, like it was fine, and then she like pulls me back and she's like, hey, is it okay if I put my leg on you? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna complain. So then that happens, and then the following day she was just like, hey, you guys lift me up. And we're just like, fuck, okay, we're in.
My favorite part about that is day 3. I didn't find her at all. And then at one point, me and Chris were trying to find both of you, and I think you were both in a panel, and we're crossing, and Chris is like, I'm surprised you haven't found Honey yet. I was like, honestly, I thought I was just really good at spotting her, because it's like that thing where like you like see one thing for the first time, then you see it everywhere. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's like a thing where like, oh, I just bought this car, but now I'm gonna see this car everywhere because now I know what it looks like. So you like recognize it more. I thought it was one of those things, and I was like, it's a small con. I'm bound to run into her pretty much every day. And the whole time, if any of you know who Thousand Honey is on anything, she does something with another guy named Daddy Ditto. And the whole time I'm like, oh, I heard you guys are supposed to meet at PAX. And she's like, yeah, we are. It's supposed to be tonight, blah, 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 blah. So third day, we're
hold
like,
on. I'm just going to say, maybe don't out shit you shouldn't out. That's not our business.
Huh? It's posted everywhere.
I was going to say, did they like, yeah, I think I saw something.
I was talking about certain details you were sharing.
I wasn't sharing anything other than the fact that they met. I was about to cut back to the other part of the story. Anyway, so
he got the address. We know where they live. If you guys want it.
Yeah.
I mean, she did confirm on day 3 that her and I we're all best friends now. Yeah. It's been confirmed by her. And
we're on our way.
You guys met the other guy.
Anyway, yeah, Connor, who did we meet?
Yeah, so after like 3
sorry, we'll
days,
swing back.
after 3 days of every fucking, it was like, oh, you guys just missed her. I'm starting to think Honey doesn't exist. It's a figment. They've paid an actor. Me and Danny are trying to find these guys. We head up to the front, and I'm just like, oh, that's Ditto. And Danny's like, oh, shit, that's cool. We start walking, and I just stopped him, like, we got to get his picture. He goes, what? I'm like, we got to get his picture. The other guys have been getting with Honey. This will be funny. So we go up, say, oh, my God, Ditto, nice to meet you. Love your stuff, whatever. And then we're like, can you help us do a bit? And he's, like, half scared. He's like, depends on the bit. And so I explained the whole thing. Our friends are running into Honey, and it would be really funny if we got some pictures where we looked very buddy. And he was like, "Oh my God, yeah!" And like the people with him took the pictures. It was great. Me and Danny devised we're not going to make a deal about it. We're just going to wait till it kind of comes up. It wasn't that night. Chris, we had a very rough Uber that night. Chris wasn't feeling well, so
dude,
we all
drove like shit. My stomach was fucked.
We got dinner and just kind of half while talking was like, oh yeah, we ran into this guy. But it was very funny.
But yeah, sorry, Chris just set it up for the perfect, like, now there's a clip there. So, but yeah, you were saying.
So yeah, we fucking, we're like coming into an intersection. I'm like, oh, there she is. And Chris goes, what? And I was like, right there's Honey. And like, she's just right there in view. She's talking to the guy I saw her with on day 2. Not Ditto, different guy. Probably just a friend she met at the panel. Really cool guy. We stopped and talked to both of them on day 2, and they were both really cool. Very genuinely nice people, just kind of asking how our experience has been, and telling us about how they've been, like, everything's been going for them and stuff. So then day 3 comes around, and we find them at the intersection. I walk over, and she goes, hey guys, you want another picture? And I was like, sure. She's like, is a group one fine? I said, yeah. She goes, cool, because I have an idea. And she comes over and like puts her arms around both of us and just goes, you guys okay picking me up? And me and Chris are like, sure. Yeah, no problem. So then she just like full force is just like super cool with it, and just she just like, fuck it, right? And we pick her up, get a couple pictures, and then the guy taking the photos is like, stick your leg out. So then we just have these like photos where honestly she looks more excited than I do. But yeah, she just like starts putting her leg out, and then we were like, hey, so you're our friend now, like there's no getting around that. And she's like, absolutely, you guys are my best friends now.
There was another guy there. He was like a content creator. He was handing her like a business card. So like when we set up the bit, that's like, oh, we're all we're best friends now. He goes, actually, like best acquaintances, but
yeah.
Shut up! You're just jealous.
No need to be territorial, homie. You're trying to spit game. We're just being buddy. Like
yeah. Nah, she sounded genuinely great. I like outside of that first, we're like that first day of like, how do we approach people for pictures? Do we just do it? Do we like? I know we saw Chris and I ran into
Diana the Rose.
Diana the Rose.
I wanted to take I was like it took like a moment to like register like in my head. I was like, she looks familiar. Oh shit, that's Diana. I wanted to take a picture with her, but she
was grabbing lunch.
Great, and I was like, Danny was like, it's probably not the best idea to do that. She's eating, and I was like, I'll find her throughout the con.
Yeah.
Never fucking saw her again.
She might have just had a day pass, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw her in an Uber on the way out, and I was almost like, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was in the same boat as Chris. I'm like, I hope we see her again.
Yeah.
But
so, Diane, if you're out there, see you at PAX next year. I don't
know. There's another guy I met who's a Magic streamer, and him and I think it was Chris and I were talking to him.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. His name's Alan. I want to say he's from. Oh, geez, dude, I feel so bad because I see him in everything.
Alan the guy.
I want to say it's Mental Misplay, but I might be wrong. All I know is in every video he's in, he says Ramp Gang because it's a Magic thing.
Yeah.
But also very, very nice human. I have a really good picture with him.
Aw.
Yeah, he was super sweet. He was telling us all about like I asked him if he'd tried the sleeves that we got there, the like rounded bottom ones, and he was like, "Oh, dude, they're so good." He's like, "But like Dragon Shields, of course, are like my day one and like other stuff." So like we were kind of like discussing Magic products, and like he was telling me about like other cons he'd been to recently, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm so glad you recognized me. I feel like it doesn't happen a lot at these things."
Yeah.
Because he's like a smaller creator, but I noticed him and I was like, "Oh my god, that's that guy I've seen on this and that." And like I feel like the same thing happened with what is it, Jenna Meowry or whatever.
Meowry, yep.
And dude,
Didn't
I won't
recognize
lie,
her because the wig and.
I not even that, dude. Like every time I did, like even after I knew who she was, I was like, she's intimidating, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But like, there was the point last day she was walking past us, and I was like, I have no hesitation. Said hi, can I get a photo? Oh my god, your outfit's awesome. Can I get a picture of it? Like I was talking to everybody I wanted to at any point in time, full control. She was walking towards me. Connor's like, "Do I say something?" And I was like, "Say hi. Ask if you can get a picture." And he's just like, "No." And I was like, "Dude, it's." And I looked at her. I was like, She looks pissed.
Okay, I was like, that's weird. That's weird that Kanai usually pokes me more for that. No, it's also I think a lot of it with her is like I'm aware of Meowry.
Yeah.
I don't watch Meowry. I don't really follow Meowry. So like, is it cool to see her? Yeah. I don't want to be fake and act like I'm a big fan when I'm not.
Right.
Kind of thing.
But
yeah, there was definitely like an aura there. There was like I'm trying to get where I'm get to. Don't fuck with me right now. And I was like,
yeah, I'm sure she gets like stopped every 5 seconds.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
But speaking of being big fans, sorry, go ahead, Chris. One more.
I was just gonna say. I mean, like we as a group met a lot of people too.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones, I would say, being Mr. Ben Starr.
See, I thought my transition was better, but you know what? I appreciate it.
That was. What a man.
We ran
I
into
feel so bad for how we met him.
We ran into a bunch of cool people. I ran into like 5 or 6 of my like internet idol type deals. But yeah, day 3, I think, Kyle was like, "Hey," from 6 minutes, he's like, "I got a picture with Ben Starr," and he's out on the floor, and I'm trying to keep my eyes like peeled for him, and I can't find him anywhere. We're headed to one of my appointments, seeing if I can get the whole group in. As we walk into the hotel, like there he is in the corner, and like it felt like one of those moments where I'm like, I think he just finished lunch or finished a meeting or finished something. He was just having a one-on-one conversation with someone. I'm not sure who the individual was, but I was like, I've been looking for this motherfucker all day. It's now or never. Not after Diane. Like we got like now's the time. So I was like, "Hey, I don't interrupt. I'm sure you're doing something. Hey guys, Clive." And like then we had like at this moment, and like realistically, it probably would have been better if we just had one group picture, but we were just like, it's Ben Starr. I think everyone wants their individual picture with him.
I thought that's what we were doing. So I like started walking up, and then it was like, oh no.
Yeah, so I didn't know.
And it was one of those things like, he has an appointment, but again, it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I will take full blame for that because I think I like geeked out the hardest. Where like everybody kind of started talking to him. It's like, "Hey man, I like Final Fantasy. I really your performance is great." And then I'm just like, Final Fantasy VII was my first game, and like I've played so many of these. I beat it, and I loved your performance. It gave me chills anytime you like got upset. I was in your interviews. And I was just like, "Come here, picture."
Yeah, and I could have sat there and talked about like watching him on Kind of Funny Games Daily, like him telling a story about his dad and like how important that was to him, and like that's what made me buy 16, even though I haven't finished it yet. But like he was such a chill dude. I saw so many people taking pictures with him, and I'm like, I'm sure he wanted to go to the convention to play games and talk to like friends and everyone else. But I'm like, damn, this is Ben Starr. I got to just get the quick picture. Dude, but like such a cool dude.
Because at a convention like PAX, Ben Starr's best friend has to just be a mask, right? Like
Yeah.
a classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Like, because
100%.
like, look, let's be real. 90% of the people we saw were white dudes with beards.
Yes.
That like,
A lot
if he just threw a
of
mask
those.
on, if he just threw a mask on, no one would have known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if someone heard him talk,
Yeah.
but like just looking around, no way anyone would have known.
Yeah. So Ben Starr, next year, let me know. I'll bring a mask so I know which one you are, so I can get another picture. But
It's gonna say I am Ben Starr.
I would say I am not Ben Starr.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Ben
Totally
Starr, we'll
not
give you a
Ben Starr.
mask, and you can hang out with us all day, just like a normal dude. We can go
Honestly?
get lunch. We can go play some 4-player games.
Ben Starr's like, I'm never going to PAX again. How many people stop me? Fuck that.
You can introduce me to your mom. We can be best friends for life.
Or I mean, he just takes my glasses. We just swap out.
True. They're like the same person. I know when to get to the games like super soon, but we still had a few more people we met. Of course, there was the Kind of Funny Games Showdown panel on Friday.
That was cool.
On Friday, which is awesome because I got to meet Blessing Yogi Jr. and Stillbike Mike. So that was super dope. Chris, I know you and I listened on our vacation trip, listened to like WrestleMania in review, and we got the whole like, if you wear the belt normally, like you're a narc, and like that was great to be like,
You're
hey
a
Mike,
fucking narc.
like this is where Chris knows about you. We got to talk to Mike a bit where he's at in One Piece. He's like, I'm in Fishman Island. I'm like, I'm so excited to see like Mike catching up on One Piece now. I asked him about Kind of Anime. We're gonna keep going. I walk into Bless and I bumble through like my entire like, hey, it's great to meet you. I loved it when you put like the one episode of the blessing fuck me. And I butchered the entire thing, and like I could feel the back and forth awkwardness, and I'm like, Blessing's so cool, and I just didn't have the level head to have a conversation with him. Like, I gave my business card to Mike. I'm gonna let you go now. Can I get a selfie quick? And then our group selfie, the first celebrity type selfie we put together was our group picture with Iffy, which was such a cool dude. He's so dope.
Yeah, Iffy was awesome. He was like, I mean, he was super nice. You could tell he enjoyed the interaction, but he also like, he wasn't rude, trying to like get anywhere. He also like wasn't being overly nice to be, like it was a really good balance. He was just a cool dude.
Yeah.
We were all just like, we love what you're doing. I know him more from Dropout than anything.
Sure.
So I was definitely like, dude, I love what you're doing on Dropout. Actually is going great. All the other stuff you've been on has been hilarious. Like, keep it up. I can't wait to see more. I know, Danny, from like Kind of Funny and then other stuff.
He's been in some Kind of Funny stuff. Yeah, they did like a group like stand up, like everyone did their first stand up type deal, and if he was in that, it wasn't his first stand up, but he was a part of the group. Yeah. So that's where I learned about Iffy. And then seeing him take over, I'm like, oh, this is the guy that I love. So like I'm more invested in like I'm actually now that I was.
I was definitely like, I didn't really know about him, and then like you were like, oh, we gotta watch this Iffy one. I was like, all right, and I'm like, no, okay, this guy's real funny. Like I like him.
Yeah, meeting Iffy was dope. I had a good time hugging that wall of a man.
He was super funny during the panel.
Dude, he's yeah.
There's like a moment where he stood up and moved around. He's like, ugh.
Dude, oh my god, the barrels on his arms. When we watch like Dropout and stuff, and he's on it, I always say like, that is a wide dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's wider in person. I don't know how he does that.
He found a way, man.
He's a wide dude. Like and not even like that is by no means in a bad way. It's just like, my God, what a wall of a man.
What a group.
This is a very minor one compared to all those.
Yeah.
But before we move on to games, I'm sorry, Danny. This is my last one. Ton of D&D stuff at PAX. I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cool things, if you're into D&D and stuff, Hit Point Press is a third-party publisher that makes a lot of D&D stuff. They've been sponsored by Critical Role so many times, or vice versa. It was cool to meet the art director for that. So he kind of does the pass-through on all the books and make sure they look great. And they do. They look great. There's one of them I bet I consider grabbing, but it's fine. Amazing job. Cool to meet them. Also met one of the co-authors of a book I bought there that was really good. A lot of D&D stuff. Might go to PAX Unplugged. We'll see. But very awesome to be able to meet people in that industry.
For sure. A bunch of cool people making stuff, creating stuff, playing stuff. And speaking of playing stuff, I think we all got our hands on quite a few games at PAX this weekend. I think definitely me more than anybody else, but I think we all at least got our hands on quite a few. So I had everybody pick a list of like whether it's their 3 favorite, 3 games we want to talk about, whatever the case is. And then at the end, each person picked one game that we saw and we didn't get a chance to sit down and play. And I figured I'd start it off because I talked about this game all weekend. It was the last game that I got to play during media hour, and that's the game called Dustborn. So Dustborn is this Life is Strange meets a Telltale game meets Guitar Hero. It's like a third-person action adventure. You're playing as this character. Her name is PAX, which is really funny. I thought that was like let's do a funny bit for PAX and just name the character them, so like the convention feels involved. But as I got in and sat down to play, I was like, I remember seeing this game before. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. And then it just kind of disappeared off the face of the planet. And then when I saw it sitting there, I wanted to sit down, check it out. The demo is split into like 3 parts. So this is first when you're kind of walking around the entire, like your base, you're trying to get one of your friends out from underneath like a bus. She's stuck underneath it. The next part you run to the police and you go into like hey, we're going to play music to kind of convince them, hey, we're just a band, but you're actually undercover the entire time. And then the third part is like this action combat, like kind of a la God of War. You have like a magnetic glove and then a metal bat, so you kind of throw it and call it back and everything. The combat was a little heftier and chunkier than I think I like, and I'm hoping it's not like the like biggest part of the game. I hope it's kind of here and there. If it's more the narrative walking around and like story element parts, I'd be way more invested in it. But yeah, I think this was really fun to play. This one comes out like late August. And I'm more gassed than anything. This was definitely one of, if not like my game of the show. So yeah, that was really cool. Chris died again.
I am fixing it. I will be back. My picture will be back literally in like 2 seconds.
Okay, well while he does that, I don't think anyone else got their hands on Dustborn, right? I know Connor, you guys kind of found me playing Dustborn.
Yeah, that was when we got in. I sat down with you and watched. It looked great. I was a little disappointed to hear the combat didn't feel good, but I also, after you explained more of the game and we went to a panel afterwards, kind of talking more about the game.
Yeah.
I get that that's not the focus of it. Whoa.
Okay, I think Chris lead the call. I really fucked up them cameras. Perfect. Love it. Love everything about it. Okay, there we go. We're there. We're getting there. Go ahead. Keep going.
Nothing happened. It's fine.
But the fact that it's like kind of doing a story important Telltale game, it's doing a it has rhythm game aspects. A lot of the art style seems very much like up my alley.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think had I given our time like around, like walking around, I would have noticed the booth. Like it was designed very well, so I'm sure I would have stopped by. But
like a cool like wooden bar type deal. It was all, like dilapidated wood and stuff.
When like the logo's good, like it was just so like I'm sure I would have stopped by to see what it was about, but I don't know if I would have had the same level of interest had I not stopped and saw you playing it.
Yeah.
So for sure gonna pick that one up. All I know is the best character is the robot, and I haven't seen him like once, but I don't care. He's the best one. That guy in the bus.
There he is, yeah. We didn't get a lot of him in the demo. Like the first interaction is like him holding the bus there, and there's a part where he's driving the bus. He's like, "Oh boy, when we reach our destination, I'll start cooking dinner," and that's like all we got of him. But he seems pretty charming. And then when I left the booth, they gave me a gift of a prize for playing the demo, and the PAX beanie was bought separate, but it's this little like floating robot dude. It says Cat in the side, so I don't know if their name is Cat. We didn't get really anything from them in the demo, but I'm very excited to see more of Dustborn. But yeah, Dustborn coming to, I think it's PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I think through Epic and Steam.
Yeah, I think it's everything but Switch.
Yeah, can fuck Nintendo. You suck, but
which is fine because that game would probably be fine on Switch functionally, but
but you know, they're out there doing the thing. But let me put this over here.
Thing.
Just the thing. They could be doing the damn thing.
Are we going through everyone's list, or are we jumping around?
I was thinking jumping around, doing each person does one, and they like cycle around. So because I did it on the list, can I? What if you went first?
Sure. So the first game I played, which was the first game of the what did you call yourself? The non-media hour games.
Yeah, content creator. Yeah, media hour. Yeah.
I think kind of shaped what other people tried the second day, right? Because we came back the second day, and that's when Connor and Chris tried it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Or is that later in the same day?
That sounds like the next
Second
day. I
day?
think.
It all blurred together. Ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So on our way in, there's this cool like trippy space looking booth. There's like barely anybody at it. Like there's probably 5-6 computers there. And you know they're all full when I walk by, but there's no line. And I was like, I saw that one back there. I think I want to try it. Had a couple of standees of the characters. Danny's like, yeah, man, go for it. So I walk over by myself. I get in line. I'm talking to these two guys. I'm like, yeah, it's my first PAX. I'm like third in line. I sit down with this game, and the developer was talking to me before I sat down. And he's like, feel free to play as long as you want. Let me know if you need any help with anything. And I played one of the most interesting takes on a roguelike that I've played in a long time, which was Enter the Chronosphere. So Enter the Chronosphere was an action roguelike game that had turn-based movement, and every time you moved, everything else in the world would move, kind of like Super Hot. And while all of those elements have been explored individually in their own properties, nothing has ever just brought them together and let them act in such a new and interesting space where they all felt familiar but new. And I loved it. It was the goofy, like crazy, over-the-top action that I expect from roguelikes. It was the fun, like cozy colors and character designs that I expect from indie games, and it had like an interesting combat system that I hadn't had a chance to like get my hands on before in a roguelike. And the minute I stood up, I didn't make it very far. I think there were 13 levels. I want to say the first time I played it, I died on like World 4. Just because there was a gun, and like when you switch to it, it would fire, you would jump sideways. I jumped off the map. And the minute I stood up, the developer was like, what did you think? And I was like, I'm wishlisting it right away. I'm buying it when it comes out. And I am going to sink an unreasonable amount of time into this game. And then I ran around the whole first day, gushed about it to everybody I could. We met up with Jacob, Katie, Joseph, Dave, Matt, all for dinner. And first thing, they were like, what's your favorite game so far? I was like, Chronosphere. 100% Chronosphere.
Yeah.
And Chronosphere deservingly held that spot the entire time at PAX. Every time I passed it, I wanted to stop and play it. I wanted to ask if I could just spend like an hour really like digging into it. But I also didn't want to hold up the line that had then been there the rest of the weekend. The rest of the weekend, Chronosphere, the line was wrapped around into a whole nother booth, and it was it felt so vindicating knowing that people had found that game after the first day, just from word of mouth from the convention, and had like been drawn to it that hard. That game was honestly so good.
Yeah, that was one, like when you mentioned, you said the name and I'm like, it sounds familiar, but I can't picture it. And then when we came over either to find you or it was like a second time around, I'm like, oh, you know what? I do know this game. Yeah, I like couldn't picture it. And I saw the gameplay, and I think I followed it on Twitter, and I might have it wishlisted already. So that's when we hopped in line, but I had like another appointment. So I'm like, let's hope I can get at least like a couple minutes in. And I basically got to the front of the line like 2 minutes before my appointment. So I kind of just followed Connor to the computer, let him play. I watched a couple like rounds, I guess, and then bounced to my other appointment. So I never got to sit down and play it.
Whatever,
yeah, levels. But I never got to sit down and play Enter the Chronosphere. I even made an appointment the following day, but I think like it clashed with the panel, so I never made it back. So now I'm just like sitting here waiting. I know we mentioned like 3 different demos are going to drop before like launch.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
I think he said the first one's May.
Okay.
Yep.
I think he said every time they get a character done, they're going to put out a demo, and it's going to be like allegedly as much as the game as they have done at that point, which means you have the entire game open to you that's available. That's kind of scary because I mean, we all know, I think we all to a degree have this, but I definitely have that like voracious, a new roguelike. I'm about to play this for a week straight and like beat it. So I'm a little scared. I'm gonna like by the time it fully releases. That's why I didn't buy Hades in early access, because I was like, I'm gonna beat this, and then when it comes out, I'm not gonna play it because I've already played it. So I'm a little scared of that because it looks really good. So I'm gonna have to resist. But
I'm definitely excited to see more of the characters. I know now, Chris, you also got to play it, so I don't know if you had anything additional to add or the thoughts you had on it.
Yeah, no. So like roguelikes and roguelites are like a genre I'm newer. I'm probably I am the newest of this group to get the bug. And oh dude, this felt so like refreshing, so fun, and so unique, and it was just hitting all the right notes for me because like I really enjoyed Super Hot, and the fact that like I got a fraction of that, but like a roguelike, sign me up. And you get the best part, chat. You get to play as a fucking bear.
Tell him the pun, Christopher.
I can't remember all of it. I remember the punchline. Can I? So that's gonna be you, friendo.
The bear character is a veteran character who is supposed to be retired, but will come back to do the job for a certain price, which means he is grizzled. He is a grizzled bear.
It's wonderful.
It's great.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, Chronosphere looked dope. One I was just like, not the one I was most disappointed to miss, but one I was like, damn, if I got my hands on that for just like a couple minutes to feel it, yeah, I would have been really excited. But either way, like I said, that would, anything you hear, you're like, this looks really cool, please go wishlist it on Steam. Like, that helps the devs so much, even if you're not going to play it on PC. Like, that wish list helps more people see it, and that team gets more money when people buy that game. So, like, go support it. Doesn't cost you anything, just hit the wish list button.
I've already wish listed.
There you go.
I already have it on my wish list.
I forgot to.
There you go. There you have it. Connor, come on, man. Keep up.
It's the intention was there, the memory was not.
Yeah. But speaking of Connor, unless anyone has anything else to say about Chronosphere.
No.
Alrighty. Then speaking of Connor, what games did you play?
So the one I put on top of my list probably isn't the most popular one there, but I think it's the one that I felt had the most potential, and that was Farah. So Fera. Farah is, from what I can, so I'm going to preface this, very early access. I think pre-alpha is what it said. But the game is kind of an open world survival action game. I believe there's crafting. I didn't do that in my demo. But what's great, and as you can see the trailer, the design is that it's super colorful, very unique. The monsters all look great. The key art for it is beautiful. And it has this like magical grappling hook that you can attach to things and kind of get some momentum. There's a glider mechanic. It looks somewhat monster hunting, the fact that you're using these parts you get from monsters to build or upgrade your things. My complaint is the combat didn't really have any weight yet. The monsters that I saw were really cool, but maybe died in like, I would say anywhere from 5 to 8 hits. Now I'm going to hope that was pre-alpha demo. Just, you don't need big monsters while you're doing alpha stuff. That's more for a beta. You're doing the balance of things. Alpha, you're more like laying out the framework for the entire game. Beta, you're more like doing all the polish, right? So I'm hoping as the game develops that changes and it is a little more in the Monster Hunter style. However, I'm super excited to see how this game develops. I can't wait to read more about it, watch more about it. I would love a poster of that key art. It's done very well and all the designs are great. I think I was the only one who played it, unless someone else did it on a different day.
Yeah, no, I got to peep a little bit as you were waiting in line. I think it's another case where I had an appointment to get to. I was interested because you had mentioned,
and I was waiting for like 10 more minutes.
You had mentioned, you're like, yeah, the monster went down in like 8 hits. And like, I was picturing like this guy kind of here on the screen, like the big one. Was it one of the more like tinier dudes, like Aptonoth size guy?
Yeah. I mean, he was still, he was still big. He was still like a large monster, but he wasn't this guy.
Okay.
He wasn't nearly as big. So again, I'm going to hope it was more for expediency. Like they have to make sure the monster takes damage when you hit it, stuff like that. More for development reasons than like actual good balanced gameplay. So fingers crossed they go back through, polish it as it gets closer to its release date, and it becomes a really great game, because this feels so gunned towards me. I think the only way you make it any more towards me is make it a looter shooter too.
Yeah.
It definitely, like the art style, the monster hunting, the movement. I'm a huge fan of movement in games, and this one was done really well. yeah, I can't wait for more on this.
Yeah, this is one I remember seeing in a showcase. It might have been like a mix showcase or something. But like when we saw it at the panel, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. This is like the Monster Hunter one. And I remember like being excited for it. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Hearing like that pre-alpha, like it doesn't upset me. I'm sure more will come out of it, and I'm hoping like feedback came from people playing it or people who are early testing it, that we get more of that Monster Hunter feel. Because since Rise, I think we've talked about having like the MOBA of Monster Hunter, where it isn't just like, here's your game, here's your $40 expansion, here's a couple monsters sprinkled in and out, as opposed to like, here's your next like Destiny scale expansion that's coming every so often to a Monster Hunter like game. And that's what Farrah seems to be doing, and I'm hoping it like sticks that landing.
I didn't realize that. That's and even watching the trailer, I've seen that before. I don't think I realized it was the same game, but I remember seeing it and being really excited for it then.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was actually able to get my hands on it.
Yeah, dude. Let's go. No one else got a chance to look at Farrah?
No. Every time I came across it, I was en route to something else, or the line was ridiculous.
Yeah. Lines. That's the thing for PAX. It's gonna be lines.
Yep.
And no one was monitoring it. Like it wasn't like you kind of got like Chronosphere is pretty much, oh, you die, move on.
Yeah.
But like this one was more open, and I think because of that, because of the stage of development, it was more like, oh, you died, just keep going, try again. But like I was definitely waiting for like 10 minutes before someone like gave up the controller. So I think if it was monitored and people could have gotten through better, maybe. But you know.
Yeah, some of those demos are tough because like I had some that were like, like roguelike ones, right? Where you kind of either once you died, but there wasn't like a thanks for playing the demo. Whereas other ones were like you would beat, Dustborn being like one of the examples, like you beat that third act and like, hey, thanks for playing our PAX demo. Don't forget to wish us. Like there was that splash screen to tell you to stop. And it seemed like Farrah was just kind of like an open sandbox demo to you kind of run around and let everyone go. So I think if it had that like timer on it, it could have been like, boom, here's where you stop and give us the next guy.
For sure.
But man, you know what? This game has some big stinking dragons. And you know what else had dragons? The game Chris played. Chris.
Yeah, so I wanted to say like this is like the most geared, like Connor said, like Farrah is most geared towards him. I feel like Dragon is Dead 100% geared to me like 100% of the way, because So one of the games I've been playing a lot recently is Dead Cells, and one of the games I absolutely love and adore that everybody else hates is Dark Souls. So it's like you take the mix of both of them, put them together, and this is like the beautiful world we got, because like we got like that dark fantasy, we got the combat that feels very familiar, and I'm so glad I started playing more games, like more Metroidvanias. But yeah, like the equipment, being able to like really like build out your character, and then having like those skill trees was absolutely incredible. Because I remember there was a point where I only had like my basic melee attack, and I was like, I really wish I had a ranged option. And that's like the only thing stopping me from like really liking this. Go on my skill tree, boom, got that ranged attack, and I was like right back in the fight. It just, everything about this just screams me. I'm going to sink so much time into this, because it's just, everything is just calling to me, and this made me so happy I got to play it.
Yeah, I noticed when you had mentioned, when you like, I think we went over to the I think it was the PM Studios booth, and they had like a bunch of their different stands. I know one of Kanai's other games was in this little section too.
Yes, sir.
And you had like pointed out, and I was like, I know that one by name, but not like by gameplay. And my first look, I was like, oh, it's very Blasphemous / The Last Faith, in like that 2D Metroidvania Souls-like type deal. And I'm like, I don't know what it's gonna be for me. But like I look at it like Moonscars, I'm like, that's fucking gorgeous though. It's stunning to look at.
Moonscars is beautiful.
Yeah, and they're just like really pretty games that I think like, if a key's received, I'm like, I might dabble with it, be like, this is pretty fun. Beat the shit out of me, but here we are. But yeah, it looked cool. I liked seeing you be excited for it. Yeah, those 2D Souls-like ones never really scratch my itch, but I'm glad it does for like an audience.
Yeah, it's like again, like I think it's just like familiarity with like FromSoft, that it's like just being able to like pick up weapons and armor equipment and then just build out my character. Like I'm all for it, and the fact that it's like as in depth as it is just even better. Because right now it's got 2 characters. I'm not sure if they plan on adding more, but dude, June 7th cannot come fast enough because I am ready to definitely stream it and try to get as much content and stuff out there for this game because I really adore it.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught, was it just PC? Was it Steam, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox?
So right now I think it's only slated for Steam.
Okay.
Because on the back of the card just says early access and just the Steam logo. So
cool. Yeah, I've looked at the website quick. Yeah, just go Steam right now. But this seems like one that would easily make a console port down the line. So
100%. I feel like if enough support's there, which the FromSoft, like the second people here, like it's like Souls, they're like on it. So I feel like this game should get enough attention from that community that we should see it.
I think that was my first time seeing it. It actually, I didn't really expect it to look that pretty. I wasn't really like, I definitely heard Chris talk about it, but I don't know if I like absorbed any of like what it was.
Yeah.
That might even be, I might be looking for that one when it comes out. That looks like something that would be up my alley. Gameplay wise.
Let's go.
No, like the Metroidvania part. We'll see. I said the same thing about Loot River, and that still sits unplayed in my Steam library. Right?
They update that yet? I need to.
I don't know. Probably.
I kind of want to swing back and look again. Loot River didn't hit the way I wanted it to. Anything else on Dragon? Dragon That's Dead?
No.
Perfect.
Everything that needed to be said was said.
Then it's my turn because this one was like a close, like almost game of show because I didn't know if I was going to like it as much as I did. But I got to see this one behind closed doors. I went to go to a pickpocket room. They actually showed me 2 games. Another one, can't talk about it yet. But this first one, so it's called Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. And the game actually already has 2 mobile games. And as from what I see, they're both like first person shooters. The second one's like a 2D side scroller survival game. Very similar to this War of Mine, not quite as slow. But you basically are playing as like a group of survivors. And the way it starts out is like you get your list of characters. Like one is like a night owl and she can go out at night and like she performs better then. There's one guy who's just better with weapons. There's one guy whose sanity or like his morale goes down slower. And then you'll pick a place on the map, you'll go there and you'll explore. And like this one you're seeing here is like the first level. Much less zombies, the demo I got to play. But you'll sneak in if you can take out a zombie by stealth killing it. And then once you eliminate everything or find whatever, like a radio signal, you go find a telescope to show you like the next location, which gives you your next mission. You go back to your base. Now the demo I got to play didn't have any of like the survival stuff. Like let me build my house, set up my farm, anything like that. But that stuff's going to be implemented. The game's still pretty early on. I think we're aiming for like a 2025 release date. And there's a part in particular in like one of the levels, you find like a police station. And once I had got that unlocked, there is a section of the map that is just Chris is dead again.
Dog, I swear to God.
But there is just a room of like dead police officers like hung up on the wall. And the moment you walk in and see it, you get this big like the screen kind of shakes and turns red and your character gets traumatized. And now my one guy, Seb, who is like really good with guns, is now infected with Nightmare, which the game didn't explain, so I had to ask the developers. But they're kind of just like, yeah, so what happens now is like you're like Seb sleeps poorly for an undetermined amount of time because now he has these nightmares of seeing dead bodies hung up in this room. And he like can't get that thought out of his head. They said it could be 3 days, it could be 5 days. It's like kind of like randomly determined, maybe based on your character, how much health you have or anything like that. I'm kind of nitpicking what I think causes it, but it's definitely like a random, here's what happened to your character. That's the only trauma I ran into. And then right after that, I ran outside and Seb died to like a horde of zombies. I was trying to find like a key to a certain door. And once he died and his body lays there, I was able to go back to the menu, pick one of my other survivors and send them out instead. So as I go to play with them, I found Seb's body, picked up all the loot that I dropped, and then escaped as, I think it was Diana who had Night Owl. So she was good at night. And there's also a day-night system where like if you pick the first one for the day, you're going during the day, during the night. And it doesn't seem right now there's any implementation that one's harder than the other, as much as just like visual, like sun, moon, whatever. But I like really got into the 2 levels I got to play. I think this one's going to be like really, really addicting for me, being able to, I was getting that Walking Dead vibe from it that I had like back in high school watching, the AMC show every Sunday night, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is really cool. I like this vibe a lot. I don't think I'm super jazzed to check out the first 2. They're free on the mobile, so I might just check them out to see what they're about. But what they're building and changing the franchise from the first 2 games to this one, I really like what I got to play here. So yeah, PAX has some really cool here. I hope this turns into like a new franchise or just constant updates for it. I know it's dropping early access 2025. And then I think they're doing like a major expansion somewhere down the line. So Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. I asked everyone got to play it, but this was one of I went to the hotel, nice fancy room, like, would you like some water? I'm like, oh, please, please. I love some water. I got to talk to him. Julian, one of the developers, she was so gung-ho about it. It was like the, when you ask like any nerd about like their hyperfixation and there's like, well, this, that, and the other, I'm gonna talk about this and this and this. And she was super jazzed about it. So that had me even more passionate about like this game that's coming out. So yeah, please keep your eyes on Into the Dead. That one looks really dope.
Dude, just hearing you talk about it has me excited.
It was fun, dude.
I'm gonna wishlist it right now. Fuck.
Please do. Yeah, I had a blast with that one.
I really liked This War of Mine. It even as like depressing as that game's tone is.
Yes.
So hearing that there's another game similar, I'm scared I'm gonna get like lost in that one too.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I make the comparison, it has that similar world exploration and climbing up the stairs and everything. But it's definitely not as slow as This War of Mine. That one definitely has the like your characters die and going like very similar gameplay loops, but this one just felt a little more zoomed in a little bit more, a lot more equipment to pick up, tools to use, and then I'm excited to see the survival parts of it. Again, that wasn't in the demo that I got to play, but should be implemented for everything by the time next year. So
okay,
yeah. But yeah, Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. That was the second one I got to play. So we'll keep going with the loop. Kanai, what did you get to play?
So much like Danny said, one of my games is at the same kind of little area that Chris had played Dragon is Dead. And pretty much what was happening, right? I am getting footage of Chris playing Dragon is Dead. I'm walking around, I'm getting video of him playing it. I'm like, hold on, get into combat, I'll take some more video. And I turn around and go, Chris, nobody's playing this game behind you. I think I'm gonna hop on it. And he goes, go for it, man. So I sit his camera down, I grab all my shit, and I scoot over to this little game, and I'm like, how the fuck is it Dwerve? Is it Dwerk? What am I reading? So I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I sit down with this game, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I hit pause, I read what I'm doing, and I go, oh, it's a tower defense, but like different. So there's like all these wolves that start coming in. I start throwing down towers. I start learning what the towers do. And I'm like, wait, this is really fun. This is like actually interesting. I'm enjoying this a lot. So eventually I start learning about like the dodge mechanic, and I learned that if you stand still, your guy fights with your towers. I start learning that your towers have like a resource required to build them, and once you run out of the resource, you can't build anymore. You have to break them down. So then there's like a strategy where you have to break some down to build new ones. You start unlocking more, and there's this cool story with these enchanting little creatures, but also like a darkness to it that the bright world kind of like steers you away from with its visuals, and I loved it, and I was so sad. I think other than talking about Chronosphere, the thing I talked about most after the first day was nobody was playing Dwerve. And I think what I might have found out is because it was already out, that it might have not been as interesting to people to try it. But the minute I found out that it was out, I said, guys, I think I'm going home and buying Dwerve. Like, I think I'm going to go home, buy it, and just that's going to be my Switch game for like the next year.
Did you go home and buy Dwerve?
I went to go home and buy it, and what happened is I laid down exhausted on my little beanbags behind me, and I found out that my HDMI was plugged into the wrong output, so I didn't buy it yet. I plan to buy it the next time I sit down to play on my Switch.
For sure.
The game is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really want to get into like the meat and potatoes of it, because there's also like hidden secrets and like stuff to unlock, more towers and like ways to build more at the same time. So I had a lot of fun with it. And then much like Enter the Chronosphere, there was a lot more people playing Dwarf throughout the weekend, so I didn't really get to touch it again. But every time I walked by it, I got like a little smile seeing that it was getting attention.
I know when you mentioned it, you're like, is this one out? You're like, I don't think so, because I had the demo sitting on my computer for months, and I was like, I want to get to Dwarf, I just haven't yet. Then we check on Steam, and it's like, oh, it came out in like 2022. Yep. And I don't know if that was like early access, and then like it just, the date shows that, and now it's officially out, but it was like maybe last year. I don't know for sure when Dwarf dropped, but like I was in the mindset like, it's not out yet. I just have the demo sitting. I'll get to it eventually. Yeah. So that was a shock to me too, and knowing that it was out and it was able to be played. And like, I definitely want to get around to trying it soon. We'll see when that list clears up.
Right. Yeah. When you don't have that huge backlog.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else got to watch Can I Play or got to dabble in Dwarf at all. I know, Con, you picked it up for me like 3 seconds.
Yeah, I picked it up. I picked it up at a very bad part. I think I was almost at like a mini boss or something. And hopping in middle of that was a little chaotic, but it was really like once Can I kind of like I got my hands on it. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was kind of like, oh, it's like a tower defense. I was like, oh, okay. And I still like didn't fully get it. Like I said, I hopped in at a bad point in the game, but I could see how this game could be fun. Tower defenses kind of get that weird grip on me sometimes where I'm like it triggers that, like, I gotta optimize this. Like I gotta get it so no one gets past the first part.
Yeah.
And then like I get very almost like competitive with myself. But I did enjoy it. I can see myself putting some time into it for sure.
Throw it up. Christian playing.
Plus, it's so cute.
It is really cute. I like the style.
So after I died in Dragon is Dead, because I didn't want to be like one of those guys where I just like was like, no, I'm gonna beat the boss, because I could have, but I was like, I'm not gonna be the guy. I'm not gonna hog the station. I died. I'm just gonna let the next person play, get their experience with it, just keep it going. So after I died in Dragon is Dead, I turned around, saw Can I playing, and I was like, this looks cute and adorable, and just like all the like little animations. I was like, this is cute. This is cute.
You go. That's the endorsement. This is cute. Go pick up Dwarf. It's out now on Steam and Switch, I think it was. Is that it?
Yeah, I believe that is correct. I think it's just Steam and Switch. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can go from one cute little dwarvy man to an angry little mustachioed guy. Connor, what else did you play at PAX?
So I didn't get to play. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't get to. I didn't play nearly as many games as everyone else. So I'm gonna go with some more generic answers for you out. I got my hands on. Was it Anton Blast?
Yes, Anton Blast. Yeah.
Which you need to double check me here. Is not developed by the Pizza Tower guys.
I do not believe so. It's a separate guy. I think Anton Blast has
because it is. It very much like just kind of looks like the same vibe.
It oozes the energy.
Yeah, they're both WarioWare or not WarioWare. Wario. World inspired, yeah.
Well, yeah, and it definitely has that almost like Game Boy charm with like the better animations, because you're playing on a computer, you're not playing on like a limited little thing.
Yeah.
But it was very much like I don't know how to, but like you wanted, I don't know, me playing, I was like, I want to go through this level as fast as I can because that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like the way they do the movement and everything it's that classic thing of like, yeah, simple controls. There's not a lot of complicated inputs. However, when done well, is very impressive. Like there's no double jump. You have to ground pound with your hammer to get height. There's like a slope rolling mechanic, so you can like get some speed, go through blocks and enemies. It is, plus the point level just seems to be like break as much shit as you can on your way there.
Yeah. And
then you hit the end, and then it's like, all right, now go back. Breaking even more shit on the way back. And there's something very fun about it. Again, it's very fast paced in nature. I didn't get a lot of time with it, but I could definitely see getting my hands on it. Like I could see people really getting into, I could see myself really getting, or anyone really getting into like the speed running of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a thing.
I was so confused by the video.
Yeah, I was lost for a second. It was it's
this
definitely
is a trailer, man.
It's definitely like I want to play. It just felt good to play, and that is like my most important thing with any game, is that like if it doesn't feel good, I'm probably not going to play it.
Yeah.
And this felt really good once I got my hands on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think there was a demo during Next Fest. It might have been the special release one, but definitely the last one. Where I got to dab with a little bit. It wasn't one that I streamed or like recorded any footage of. But I definitely enjoyed my time with it, and I think it was one I was in the spot once I played through the level. I'm like, this is what I'm going to sink into when it's out. I don't think I want to put all my time into the demo because then I'll be like, I played this one, I experienced this. I think it's going to be when I can go from start to finish and kind of power through the entire game. I'm very much excited to pick this one up. But yeah,
I feel like I need to clarify. There is some filter they put on this trailer. It's some filter they put on to make it look more retro, I think.
Yeah.
The game looks very smooth. It's still pixelated, but it's not as like CRT. I think it's a good trailer. I just think it's I want to clarify it. It looks better than that.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun. This is more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else got their hands on Anton Blast.
No, I didn't get a chance to grab this one.
Well, you can grab it when it comes out soon. And there is also there's the Steam demo is available. So I think what we played at PAX is also is still on Steam. So you can download that and play it now. So
I could absolutely. I think this will show up at a Games Done Quick in the near future. I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, dude. This one a lot of fun. Again, once it's out, I think I'll definitely like sink more time into it. Very cool game. Love the style. I think Pizza Tower is one that I tried, and like though I liked it, I don't think I like fell in love with it like the rest of the world. We're like, dude, you gotta love Pizza Tower. Yeah. But Anton Blast seems a little more my speed, especially because it's just an angry dude running around with a hammer, and that's just it's just kind of my vibe. But yeah, Anton Blast. Christopher.
Yes, sir.
What else did you play at PAX?
So I played an interesting game that I was kind of just like staring at it. I was like, all right, this looks cute. I was like the style of it reminds me of Borderlands, like the cell shading, and like it just like drew me because I love Borderlands. Who doesn't? But Scope J. I'm not sure how we're supposed to pronounce that.
I want to say it's Skopje or Skopje.
I thought Scop J.
It looks like a soft J.
But yeah, so like the whole story that I got from like the developers is like a nuclear bomb goes off and you're trying to figure out how to stop it from going off. So like every time you die, the world resets right before the nuke goes off, and then you have to go through and do it again. But like you get like that first person shooter, roguelite elements, like it's all just like an interesting concept. Because I was like, okay, so we get like a little bit of mix of like a Borderlands, we get a little bit of a death loop in there, we get a little bit of that like that roguelite. And dude, just like having like the devs there and being able to like talk to them and like just like ask them questions, like I was like, is there gonna be like attachments? And they're like, there's not gonna be any attachments. We had that, we took them out, but we are gonna have like an upgrade system where you're gonna be able to like upgrade, like right there. You see, like you can like upgrade your guns. You can just make them better at like weapon handling and all this. And it's 4-player co-op, which is even cooler to me because I'm like this world is just so unique and colorful and cool, and like the movement felt like pretty stiff. I'm sorry, my camera over fucking heated. I'm gonna dude, I'm going through hell right now. But yeah, like the whole just vibe, the whole world of it just seems pretty cool and just like a neat idea. So I mean, guys, if you want to stop a nuclear bomb from going off, this game it's got that vibe to it.
I want to encourage one. What game is that?
Huh? Hold on, I'm looking.
Scopia.
I did a quick Google pronunciation search and it says it's pronounced Scopia.
Scopia. Huh. Okay.
I think that's how I heard the devs say it at one point, but I wasn't sure if they were talking about the game or not.
Let me see. Scopia definition. Noisy, clamorous, or boisterous. Luxuriously fine or large. Lavish, splendid, large, powerful, impressive. Okay.
Oh.
Skopje is a medium city at a European level. A lot of definitions here. I don't know if they all are, but yeah. I I remember this is another one you mentioned to me, and I thought it looked cool. I think it's another PM Studios booth. So again, the same spot as Dwarf and Dragon is Dead. So you guys spent like a good chunk of time over there.
I did. They had a lot of cool looking games over that way.
Yeah.
I was drawn in by them.
Cool looking game, short lines, good combo.
Yeah, at that point, and that was the same spot. There was another one. I think it's what brought Connor and I over there because it was their big like billboard one. My business cards are upstairs.
Pipistrello.
I believe it's Pipistrello.
Yeah, Pipistrello. That's one we didn't get to play because that booth. That was one where I'm like, hey guys, get off the fucking booth. Like they sat there the entire time we stood there. I was like, come on, someone monitor these two. I want to play some Pipistrello, but I didn't get to that one. But yeah, the PM Studio is not one that's been like on my radar for a lot of things. I knew of Dwarf, but the rest are kind of new to me. So I got to keep an eye on PM a little bit more and see what else they got going on. Because those three alone look pretty dope. I definitely didn't get into this one in the case of like, I know Chris and I, you're currently in, Chris and Connor, you're currently in like, let's replay Borderlands 3. And we haven't finished Tiny Tina yet and like that whole thing. But I'm always like, oh, we're replaying 3? Let me know when 4 is here. Yeah, let me know when the next Borderlands, and then I'll jump back in. I'll play that one.
Dude,
I could definitely see this be. I just like. I think it was the same thing I hit for like 2. Like everyone wanted to replay 2 on like a weekly basis.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm so over 2. Just wait till 3's here. I'll wait till 3's here. And like, I played through as Flak. I played a good chunk as whoever the mech chick was in 3.
Mose.
Yeah, Mose. So I think I got like maybe halfway through as that, and I'm like, I think I'm good. I think my playthrough as Flak was like my one. I got the platinum. I'm good. I'm Gucci. So yeah, I'm just like Borderlands 4 or Scopia looks like really fun. I'm assuming a shorter experience, long haul, but yeah, it looks cool. Anyone else on Scopia?
I didn't really get to try it, but it did look fun.
I was gonna say, Chris talked to me about it, but it definitely looks like something I will be getting into when it comes out.
There we have it, which means it's back to me for the last game. Not the last game I have to play, but the last game I'm going to talk about in this video, because we could go for hours, I'm sure, and then eventually be like Danny just talking at 3 people for a while. But another game I got to go over to the Western Hotel for and play in like a private room. I got to sit down with the team at Apogee, and I was a little upset I didn't get to sit with Eric. Him and I emailed back and forth a little while ago, but I got to play Lucid, which was very, very, very exciting for me. So I talked about this game a little while back, and Lucid is this Celesteoidvania. So a Metroidvania that has like Celeste-like controls. When you start, you're playing as this bald dude. He's gray. He's got a really cool jacket. But the whole thing is about like organizing your mobility. So as you run in, it has like the same kind of dash jump Celeste does. If you dash jump and then dash after you're hitting like a platform, you get like an extra boost of mobility. You get different power-ups, like you can see he has like the blade, which you'll use to, if you jump and smack something, you get an extra jump, so you'll go up again, or an extra dash. So it's a lot of like, they harped on if you are good at it and you know when to hit what and where, like you don't have to touch the ground in this game. Like you could, at certain levels, I'm sure, like other ones like in tutorial. But there's all these characters you'll meet. There's puzzles. There'll be like these little bugs that have like crystals on their back. They're like blocking you from progressing. So you have to like crouch and like shoot them in the back or in the face that they like, their crystal explodes, so you can go through and do it again. I didn't get to do a lot of combat. It was a bunch of small little characters. It was mostly platforming, the demo that I got to play. I had basically just gotten to like the hub world where you kind of get to choose your Metroidvania type path. So I don't know which one was the right one or the wrong one. I didn't hit any like, hey, you're impeded, you can't go any further yet. But it was a lot of, I could reach a lot of these areas earlier. I was just butchering my jumps. So I dash, bounce off the wall, shoot, I missed that, go back down, dash, jump better this time, grab the hook, I get my double jumps back, go all the way back up again. It was, Lucid was really fun. It's one of those weird ones that I feel like I've seen for so long, and I've seen a lot of other like creator friends talk about Lucid and talk about Eric because he's such a cool guy who like is like the solo developer of the game, and I just wanted more time with it. But like they were like, hey, I know you got like 2 more appointments yet, we got to get you through these other 2 games. I'm like, what if I just did the whole thing for Lucid? Which I didn't. I had to play some Bread and Fred DLC as well as Wizardom. I had to make sure nothing was embargoed. But yeah, Lucid was easily one of my game of the shows. I saw it walk away with like so many different game of the show awards, from 6-1, and I believe, I might be wrong, Crossplay Conversations gave it one as well. I might be making that up, but phone fell. Yeah, Lucid's really cool. I can't wait for that one to come out. I think we did a video sometime last year where I was like, guys, check this one out. Please keep an eye on it. Wishlist it. Lucid's going to be wild. Very excited. Anybody got questions about Lucid?
It looked cool. I know you said it was like one of your favorites. I didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah.
Like I guess I almost expected a story game with a name like that and how into it you were, but like I wasn't expecting that at all. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I get lost a lot on the title Celesteoidvania.
Sure.
Just because like Celeste is not a Metroidvania.
Right.
And it's hard for me to imagine like a game like Celeste as a Metroidvania, but I like watching the little clip you had there while you were talking was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it nails what it wants to do. I'm not knowing how long it's going to be. We kind of got to look at like the map. He was like, here's what you've I got to sit down with Hayden. I believe he was just with Apogee as one of like the publishing team. He was like, I'm like the second best person in this room at this game so far. I'm like, all right, watch. And then I did really bad. Nah, Hayden was classic Danny. Okay, I'm classic Danny. But now Hayden was baller. He also sat down with me for Wizardom. Such a cool guy. Again, wish I got my chance to meet with Eric, but Hayden took really good care of me with Apogee. So Apogee, if you're listening, give Hayden a promotion. Lucid's super dope. Can't wait for more. I think I've already put in my like application for a review code whenever it drops. So hopefully I get that, and I'll be gushing about that for weeks to come after it releases. I don't know if that one has a date yet. That might still just be coming soon, but I have to double check. But while I double check on Lucid, Kanai, what was the last game? Maybe that was the last game you played. The last game you want to talk about today?
So this was probably the last really exciting game that I played of my first day. All three of my games are from my first day there. I got most of my gaming done in the first one. So a lot of people, Danny might need to help me out. What was the name of the people making that like bunch of games? There's like Hell of an Office and this one. I forget like the title.
Yep. I am blanking as well. I got it.
That one's not Apogee, is it? I don't think that's
Apogee's
right.
the other group.
Okay.
This was Soup Masters. That wasn't the booth.
No, that wasn't the booth.
There's self-publishing. Please stop playing music. Keep talking about the game. I'll figure it out.
Anyway, I saw this game. I immediately went, is that Punch-Out? And then I remembered that a long time ago, I used to see a bunch of clips of a game coming out that was an indie game, but it was Punch-Out redrawn in like a more cartoony style with like really fluid animations. And immediately I was like, oh my God, that's this game. And I got to try it. The unfortunate part about my trial is that fight right there that just played, as I said, the unfortunate part about my trial with the big guy. He spawned in like as soon as I grabbed the controller and paused it, homie dropped on me, took half my health. I had no idea what was going on. He immediately clocked me, and I was like, all right, let's run it back. And the guy that's on screen right now, I said, let's fight him. He's the Glass Joe. He's like this is how you're going to learn how to play the game. Just wail on this guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll wail on this guy. I'll learn the controls. And then you knock his hat off. And the minute you knock his hat off, he gets like roided out and starts screaming and starts like actually swinging for the fences on you. And if he hits you, it hurts. And I learned very quickly that this game is hard. It is very hard. And I was like, okay, I'm into this. It's Punch-Out, but like with more stylish like attacks and animations. One of the opponents you can fight is 3 kids in a trench coat. And when you knock the head out, the kid hops off to the side of the ring and starts like swinging at you with a boxing glove on a stick. It's great. I don't know how to dodge that, but I had a lot of fun with the game. And even though I left a little frustrated and confused, I want to get it and I want to play it for real.
Do you know what the art style looks like?
Cuphead?
No. What? No. It looks
what
like
it's based on.
Is it?
I
Yeah,
would
that's
not
what they-
have
that's
said
what they
that
told
was
me.
Rubber Hose, but
Interesting.
it looks like a humongous entertainment game.
Yeah, I see it. I see
like
I see Punch shown in the
especially when it's, like, real
background.
big.
Pajama Sam.
Yeah. There's something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's how it's colored, but
Fire Skills Tap. Joystick Ventures, by the
There it
way.
is.
The booth.
There it is. There's the 3 kids in the trench coat.
Yeah. But like I while you were doing this, and I was like dabbling with Chicken Police, and I played Thunder Ray late last year, and I wasn't not disappointed, but I didn't quite enjoy the one the way I hoped I would. That one had a lot more like vector based art as opposed to like the pixel stuff. And you basically like fight different dudes in space and like different planet champions and everything. I didn't quite catch the vibe of that I was hoping I would, and I'm hoping Big Boy Boxing does a little bit better at that. I think Thunder Ray made it difficult to kind of read attacks. I don't know if you like felt. I know you said you kind of dropped it at like a spot where like I'm in it, so I don't really get a chance to. I didn't mention like the one attack you like. I don't know how to dodge it, but
this one it was a little hard to tell, and then eventually I came down to like, oh, it's simpler than I think. If it's coming down the middle, I block it. If it's coming from the left, I dodge right. If it's coming from the right, I dodge left. So like I just kind of had to learn to go against the animations, and like if the animations were coming one way, go the other. But then some of the opponents, when they would start their animation from the right, they would swing to the left because they would like do like a long extension. So I think it's just a matter of like learning boss patterns.
Yeah.
But it definitely is one that I want to like take my time with and learn a little bit better.
Let me see here. I gotta check the one again. I keep pulling it up, but I don't know if I had a date or anything. I think, yeah, currently just to be announced. But that is also looks like a demo you can play at home. So Big Boy Boxing is one you can check out right on Steam. Anybody else a Big Boy Boxing?
It looks great. I never played Punch Out, but I could. It looks fun.
Hershey Boxing Big Boys.
So I got the cape for it, and I was looking at it. I didn't play Punch Out, but it looks interesting. I'm so ready to watch Kanai stream it on Discord, because I'm sure it's gonna happen. I'm ready to just live vicariously through them.
Vicarious. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. And on that note, hey Connor, what did you play next?
Hey, so again, remember when I said I didn't play nearly as many games as everyone else because I was so busy with D&D stuff and going to panels?
Yes.
So I had to fill out this list. So I picked the one that I think we were all pretty like, it's mid. And I mean that in the most true sense, not the like it's bad sense. And it was okay. And that was Rah Rah Boom. So Rah Rah Boom is a 4-player side-scroller beat-em-up a la your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, your Simpsons game, your Castle Crashers. You know, and admittedly, it didn't add anything new to the genre. It wasn't like this super unique thing. I think what we were told it added, because we all played together, is a very character-driven, story-driven experience, where these characters are actually like evolving as the story goes on. They have these character arcs and stuff. But we just got to play kind of the first level. Stylistically, it's wonderful. I will say that the art, the direction, the style is very, very good. It stands out. The voice acting in it was very good. I think they put a lot of their eggs into that basket, which is fine. Then again, we also only got a very early part of the game, so this could all be very off base, and it just wasn't a stunning intro. I want it to be good. I want it to be unique. I want it to have this brand new experience, but I don't know if we'll be able to see that, and I don't know if at this point I'm willing to go in for the full price, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. I hope the best for it, because like I said, the art style and everything's great. It has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see how the rest of the game goes. I will say the funny thing, and can I sorry, Danny.
No, go ahead.
Can I bring this up? We did play. It is still early development, I believe. Maybe not early development. It's still in development. There was an active bug that Kanai's character would trigger every time they did a certain move.
Of course, it's me.
Yeah,
you were playing
like
Ren,
they
right?
would
Kanai
just
the Ninja Girl?
Yeah, I played her right there.
Yeah,
Ren,
Ren. They would just turn into a white square. So
Yeah.
it was just like there was definitely a point where we're all like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Ignore that. Don't look at that. Yeah.
From what I could understand, it was anytime you pressed 2 of her buttons at the same time, that would happen. and it would just make a big white square, and like the whole game is just mashing buttons. So it was really, you know, it would really dig me in deep and get me in all immersed when my little ninja girl would just turn into a big white rectangle. And my favorite part was the poor girl who's like sitting there walking us through our boom. It's like, don't look at that, don't stop doing that. And I was like, I can't. I'm supposed
don't
to
call
mash
attention
buttons.
to it.
Yeah, I was like, how am I supposed to mash buttons?
I will say that was the other thing is we played it on, they had it in like a 4-player arcade cabinet kind of thing, which was cool for presentation. It was cool for presentation. Danny, were you and me on the ends?
Yes, so Connor and I were on the ends, and we were at like a 45-degree angle.
Well, I think it was put on an angle.
Controls.
I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was installed on that angle because I don't know about you, but I was definitely like going.
Up,
I was pushing
diagonal.
my like joystick. Yeah. So it was like really hard to like have to almost before you move the joystick, you had to be like, wait, no, I have to do that. So it felt like I was slower and it was awkward. I think it was a very cool thing they did for the presentation of the booth.
Yes.
I wish it was executed better.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm just beating up on this game. It was okay, and that's fine if it's still being developed. You know what I mean?
I think
not a problem.
Where I was at, this is one that I saw like a GDC showcase last year. I thought it looked really cool. So when I got the email, I'm like, I want an appointment for that. I was on the 6-Minute Indie Cast the other night, episode 182, if you want to hear me talk about it. And the first thing I said was like, I think this game is going to be really fun. I'm excited to play it alone, not on the arcade cabinet. And I think one of the things that kind of like threw me off a lot, both being on that angle, because the booth being not the way everybody's going to play that at home. This is going to be on console with controller, everything else. Or I actually might be Steam. I might be making stuff up. I forget. But the way people are going to be playing at home is not the fight stick and the 6 buttons and everything like that. So I wish we got to play it with just straight up controllers. I think I would have felt a lot more natural. But also every time someone would use their super, it would freeze everybody on the map. And if I'm in like the one level we saw in the trailer was like a run and gun type deal. We had to like jump over like metal bars and everything. The amount of times that I would go to jump and then like somebody would super, which would stop me midair, and then I would lose all momentum and then kind of like stop and fall and then get caught in the robot and take damage. Like I think on our first level, everyone got an A+ but me. I'm chalking that up to both the angle and I'm like, fuck, I keep getting fucked every time someone ults because I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and then I died. And I think I would really enjoy playing through this at least once solo so I can pick up the game and get used to the controls on a controller, not a joystick. But yeah, I think this unfortunately wasn't a great presentation at PAX. I'm still like, I'm not taking off my wish list. Still think the game looks really cool and I want to see more of it. I just wish it was like, oh, you're here for the appointment. Let me take you to this laptop with 4 controllers like some of the other booths did so I can kind of experience it a little more naturally for what it's going to be. But it did kind of take the wind out of my sails a little bit playing the version that we got. But I don't know about the other 2 people who got to play it like straight on. Tell me about it, Overheated.
Yeah. Let me. I can still talk. My voice still works. Damn it. So, like, it was one of those things where it's like I really like games like that. I'm like already kind of like okay, like it be what it be. Mm-hmm. But like. Just like being able to play it, like I kind of wish like for like a game that like has like 4 unique characters, I kind of wish the Ultimates kind of reflected that.
Yes,
and they all weren't the same, because I know for me that was like a big part of it was being like, okay, I want to see them be unique. Yeah, and I want to see them like really be able to do that. Like I don't know like what the development process looks like for it. But, like, I just kind of wish I saw more than just, like, oh, hey, their blasters are different. Or, oh, hey, their, whatever is different. Like, I kind of wish that we just felt, like, more uniqueness out of it.
Right. I gotta see one of these.
I think that's fair.
There you go. Thank you, Danny. I'm sorry.
But make sure it's just Ben Starr.
Yeah.
Let me hide the Chris one.
Can you like Photoshop my glasses on them?
Listen, you're asking for a lot right now. I'm trying to make this fast and loose.
We're doing some live edits.
Sorry.
Ben, what did you think of Rah Rah Boom? 1, 2 playing Final Fantasy 16.
that is what Ben Starr sounds like. Squeeze them together in a nice little box. Perfect.
Sounds almost like Tom Holland.
If your camera works, you're going
No, Tom Holland's like, I'm Tom Holland.
But yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see more Rah Rah Boom. Right now, it doesn't have any kind of date. I think it's still just in development. If I recall, I believe she told us plans for Steam, Switch, and Xbox. Nothing to announce for PlayStation at this time. Yeah, I'm hoping a little more polish on. It's weird to say the polish on the controls because we didn't get to play actual controls, but I assume this will run great on a controller, just not the fight stick. But
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
it was all right. Being the person with the broken character and like being somebody who's played the unique fun beat 'em ups like his whole life. Like I think literally Chris quoted me like 6 times, but I said, "Yo, if I ever go to an arcade and Castle Crashers is on the cabinet, I'm playing that shit till I die." Because I love Castle Crashers. I was a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing growing up. I was a big fan of The Simpsons, and I think there's even like an old X-Men one that I used to play too.
Yeah, there's an X-Men. My brother and I would play the Simpsons game anytime we could. Like, if we went to a place and that cabinet was there, both of us were on it.
It's so fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they are. They're and they're fun to play in groups, and like, it's chaotic, and that's kind of half the fun, is like everything going on, you know?
Yeah.
But I do agree, like, even like you were saying, like, in the Simpsons game, Marge played differently than Bart. In the X-Men game, Nightcrawler was different than Cyclops, right? Like, so I'm hoping it gets to a point to where it's not just animations that are different, but and the trailer looked like there was stuff in there that was doing that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's true, and you can kind of like your characters grow more unique as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, narratively, I'm really excited to see how it goes, and like it might be spoilers, so I won't go too in depth. But like the first level, you get to see like the 4 different students all doing their thing, and then like there's a pretty heavy narrative beat at like the end of like the first mission, or maybe I think at the end of the second mission, where like a character's like, "I got you guys, you run, you go, I'll stay back and fight," and like that whole thing takes place. Like there's a narrative here that I'm excited to see.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping the gameplay is like. It does the job where I will see the narrative through to the end, as opposed to being like, the gameplay is not fun enough for me to care, and then watch like somebody's like all cutscenes of Rah Rah Boom on YouTube. But, but yeah, anything else on Rah Rah Boom? Cool.
Yeah.
Then, damn, it really breaks my overlay because Chris is dead. But Chris.
Dude, I'm trying to figure it out. It said like I swapped to like the movie setting, and it's just not. It's me and Ben Starr, baby.
Okay, well I will have to fix out another overlay then. But hey, Chris, what was the last thing you played?
So the last thing I played was Hell of an Office. It was a newer entry for me personally for kind of just like all like movement based. But the whole cool, like really cool aspect of it was like just like going through hell, just using a stapler, which was just hilarious to me. Just like the whole concept of just running through, shooting stuff, wall bouncing is just really cool, fun, and just like dashing. Like it's just like all movement, and that's the gameplay loop. And it's just absolutely funny to me. So it's like we get like a nice little funny haha, but also speed running community is gonna go nuts with this. Yeah. So that's like an aspect like I'm like definitely like very interested to see like how this takes like, and like I don't mean to name drop them, but seeing like how people with like just keep running or like speed running that. I'm like so interested to see how people are going to be speed running this and just like finding ways to just like dash across half the level and just appear at the finale. Like I'm so interested to see other people playing this as well as myself, because I mean the demo's out now. You can play it. I'm definitely going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben Star.
Yes, Ben, appreciate it.
Welcome.
But yeah, speaking of other people playing it, there was a point, Chris, you're like, Danny, do you want to try it out? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I picked it up and I had to get used to the controls real quick. But you were just like, Jesus, Danny. I'm like, I played a lot of Neon White.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Neon White was definitely
Yeah.
a huge benefit in picking that up.
Yeah, so it's very similar to Neon White. Neon White has a lot more, at least what we got to play this demo, has a lot more variety in guns. We have like pistols, rocket launchers, shotguns, and stuff. So far, this one seems to be focused mostly on the stapler, which is kind of almost what I think the shotgun was in Neon White. We kind of just blast yourself up, and then you'll use that to kind of propel up walls and move from there.
I think,
Or
I'm trying to think.
no,
I know which one.
The pistol, right? The pistol you
the pistol dropped the ball. Right? Oh yeah. No, you're
the
right.
pistol was just a drum.
Well, the
I
shotgun dropped
definitely
the ball.
think-
was the dash.
I
Right.
think if they don't, even if they don't go into like, oh, here's a bunch of different options.
Yeah.
I think if they keep it simple like that, but then like the levels become like increasingly more interesting to the point that like almost it's like that thing classic, like, you know, the fundamentals will always carry you. Like, yeah, there's not a lot, but when you're really good at those simple things, it like changes how you play the game completely.
Yeah. No, I really dug what I got to play of it. I think I probably went through maybe like 10 levels real quick back to back.
Okay.
And there was one I got stuck. I'm like, all right, guys, I have an appointment. We're gonna knock this one out. Okay, I died. We're gonna keep going. I got this. Okay, I died. One more last try. Okay, now we're actually done. But as much as I fell in love with like Neon White, Hell of an Office is like very similar vibe, different tone. Obviously, like Neon White is very white and clean, and like you're in heaven doing all that stuff. And this is almost like the complete parallel. I'm excited to see like someone out there is going to do it. It might be me. Don't steal the idea. Might do like a Neon White versus Hell of an Office type deal where you have like the heaven and hell versions of it. This one you're working in an office. I don't know if it's not a roguelike. There was something about the scene, the like you're fired thing, or like it seemed like you're reset in the elevator. I think that's more just like narrative beats for the story. You're going down the elevator. Satan's the boss, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I remember seeing this one at another showcase recently. I think the 6-1 guys talked about it during Steam Next Fest, and I was like, I got to keep that on my radar. So seeing the booth, I was like, I definitely want to get my hands on it for a little bit. And yeah, it definitely was satisfying to play. If you like Neon White, keep this one on your radar. I don't think this one has a release date yet. Anyone else get to dabble with Hell of an Office?
Yeah,
I played it a little bit.
I think we all did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I didn't.
Go ahead.
I would say I didn't play a lot of levels. I kind of went through the tutorial. I think by that time we were like, I maybe got 1 or 2 in, and then we were kind of moving on. But I got the gist of it. That is one that I think you could almost sit down, like if you're just kind of bored hanging out in Discord or whatever one night. Like it doesn't look like you need a lot of brain power. You could definitely chew through a lot of levels in that real quick.
And you could chew through a lot of levels right now because it's actually out in early access. So $15.
Oh, wow.
So you can go play it now.
Hey.
Had no idea. So, I know you said you got to play a little bit. I don't know if you had any other.
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun. It's hard to not make the comparison to Neon White, which is definitely more like my aesthetic. Like I definitely enjoy that anime aesthetic a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, dude. It was a cool one. It's really dope. Go play it now. But yeah, there's all the stuff we got to play at PAX. Now, really quick, because we're going on an hour 50 minutes here, let's power through the games that we didn't get to play. Ones we saw. I know there was the one that I was super, super pissed, had a line all weekend, and I'm pulling up the trailer for it now, so I'm kind of vamping a little bit. But this one was called Woodo. And when I saw the list, like, Danny, what the fuck is Woodo? And he was like, I don't remember seeing that one there. But essentially, it is this cute little puzzle game. It's a 3D puzzle game where the little house you have, everything's made out of wood, and you have like a collection of items that are all like wood carved, like pieces of bread, cupcakes, very unpacking-esque, but you have like the 3D perspective. You kind of turn around the room. And you just take everything out of the menu and put it where it belongs. And then you'll see here like little animations will happen. This is what I think, I can see a Wholesome. We saw it the Wholesome Direct maybe this past year. Might be older than that. It's just super adorable. It looked like such a vibe. This is one that I could easily see like sitting in Discord, lights off, hot chocolate chilling here, blanket over shoulders and just like doing the puzzles, talking about whatever existential BS we're sitting in Discord talking about that day. And I'm like, ooh, I put the weenie in the bowl and just like having a good time with it.
You did what?
I put the weenie in the bowl. This is the only level I've seen. I don't know if there's only one level. I'm assuming there's going to be a couple, but also I could tell you 2022. Well, that's a date. That one's not out, right? I'm about to find out that's out. That's one I wish I got to check out while we were there at PAX. But can I? What did you wish you got to play?
I passed this game several times, mostly because it was right next to where I played Dwarf. It's also right next to where I played another game that was a little disappointing, but I don't have to delve into that. And it was like central to the whole thing. It always had a line. It was always wrapped right around. They were selling adorable little plushes of the mascot. And I don't remember the full name. I want to say it was Extremely Powerful Capybaras.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, the idea of little capybaras doing something that makes them seem extremely powerful is adorable. The art style for it is super cute. I just really wanted to try this. It looked fun. It was a 4-player experience. Is it a survivor game now that I'm looking at it?
Yeah, it's a vampire survivor type game.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Oh no!
I
Oh
want it
no! 4-player co-op! Oh no!
I won't lie. When I was sitting there watching it, I thought it was a party game.
Yeah.
So now that I know it's a survivor style game, I want it even more.
Yep.
We're done. We're cooked when this comes out.
Yeah, dude, I want this so bad now. But yeah, like I sat there and watched people who would legitimately play this for like 30-40 minutes. And I'm like, brother, there's a whole line. There was a point where it was just me and Chris, and I was like, Chris, I know the other two aren't here. Maybe we can get in like a quick 10-minute jam session on this right before it closes. I get in line, dude's like, hey, they capped it off. And I was like, come on, man. So then we came back last day. I had like maybe an hour. I go to get in line. I'm like, it's not that bad. It's just along the front. And I go to get in the back of the line. Whole side of the panel is a line. And I was like, yeah, I'm not getting in here.
Yeah, dude, that was one of the booths that was just nonstop all weekend.
All weekend, yep.
Another one that I wasn't sure on release date. Turns out it's out now. $6 on Steam. So
Capybaras?
No.
Yep, Capybaras out now on Steam. I'm seeing mixed reviews.
Well, hold on. I think me and Kanai are about to make a purchase.
I think this has been a great podcast. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of it. No.
Listen, just hang on. Two more. It's fine. Let me see.
I'm
Chris's
adding it
face.
to my card as we speak.
There you go.
Exaggerating.
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, Connor. Anything else to Capybaras?
Yeah. Learning everything I just learned. We're about to lose so much time for stuff I need to do to this.
Yeah.
It is purchased and installing now.
I would have, but it'd have 10 other windows open. But
yeah, I get you.
You guys just got moved to the side so I could do the same thing.
Yeah, Connor, the game you want to play.
Were we moving on to mine?
Yeah. Sorry.
So this was really funny. We found it. Well, I found it. You had an appointment with it. I found it on the 3rd day, I think. And it sucks because had I found it earlier, I definitely would have made a point to play it. So this is a game called Fretless. And from what I understand, it is a music-based RPG, which has a weird, like, oddly specific place in my heart. I think we were talking about everyone, when you play video games, everyone kind of has that game that you're like, man, if only I could make it, if only I had the talent and skills to do that. And mine since like middle school has been a music-based RPG. Now, probably different than this, but I really like the idea. I think a turn-based RPG and music go really well together. But no one's really done it. And then, walking by this and Danny was talking to the guys and I started talking to the guys. They're like, yeah, it's like an RPG, but it has a lot to do with music. And I was like, shut up. Are you kidding me? He's like, no. And I'm like, I've wanted that forever. And it looks like there's a lot of style and personality to it. So for sure, I can't wait to check it out. I'm not usually even into turn-based RPGs much nowadays, but I think because it's so close to an idea I've had, I just want to get my hands on it and see their take with the idea.
Yeah.
it looks great. The art is great on the games they were showing off there. All of it looked amazing.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited for that.
This is one I didn't have an appointment for. I saw it a couple times, but I think you and I were looking for Kanai Chris, and we ran into.
Yes,
I know it was Jacob. It might have been Katie as well.
That's it. That's right. Yeah.
And they were like, "You play Fretless yet?" I'm like, "Haven't." They're like, "You got to." I'm like, "The plan's tomorrow if we have time." But then we saw they have the same demo on Steam now, so like this is one people can check out right now and see if they want to check out the demo. Just says release date 2024 right now, but it looked really cool. I think it was funny because I think earlier in the weekend you had brought up the like, I just wanted a music RPG, and then we like walked by and it's like, wait a second, this is what I was talking about.
I was definitely like, cool. Not to get too off topic, my in my head, mine was always like, oh, each like class you pick up is a different style of like the main character would be like the fighter and rock and roll, and then maybe the black mage is like techno, dance, EDM, and then like your cleric is classical, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, but these guys seem like they do a very different take, and I'm super excited to get my hands on it and try it out.
Devs, work your magic, make it happen, do it.
Yeah, steal my idea.
Might be Fretless. But yeah, this one I think I installed it today. That along with something else. I installed a couple. I think it was Capes. Maybe a few others. I'm like, these are ones I missed that have demos at home, so I want to check those out. Anyone else got like a peek at Fretless and they're like, oh, it looked cool?
I didn't see it, and I had no idea what you guys were talking about until Sunday when we were leaving.
Yeah,
we walked by it, and I was like, "Oh, that's Fretless." And like,
that's the one.
Yeah.
Bet. Well, to round out the episode, Ben Starr, what's the game that you saw that you wish you got your hands on this weekend?
So the game I wish I got my hands on this weekend. So the game, I again, similar to Capybara's, like Fraymakers, always had just like all these people waiting for it, and never once did I see a controller be put down. Was there a moment that like I could like squeeze in for like a round or two? But dude, Fraymakers caught my attention because I was standing there with Kanai, and I was like, is that a fucking Among Us trying to like stab each other? And then like I just kept seeing like all these like other indie game characters, and then Kanai was pointing them out, and then I was like, oh, so like what is it? He's like Smash but with indie game characters, and I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
If I could be an Among Us and just square up with like the character from like Celeste. I don't know if like the character from Celeste is in the game.
Madeline is not in the game.
But just like other like indie game characters, and I could just like square up with the Among Us and just be a imposter. I'll do it all day, every day. Like, give me the memes. I'm here for it. And then like I saw like a buff duck or a platypus.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, it was crazy.
That other Smash like.
Yeah, I can't think of what that game's called. Some of the comments remind me, but like I'll just run it back for a second. Like, here's the current cast. So you have Octodad, you have Bit Trip Runner, you have Taro or Kane, the whichever character this is from Slay the Spire, and then Macho Duck.
The
Watcher.
Watcher. I was gonna say Seeker. That's not right.
Yeah, and then they have a bunch of assist trophies. So you have the dude from Getting Over It. You've got the old what's the tank dude?
From Newgrounds.
Oh, from
Newgrounds. Thank you.
Tank guy or tank man or something like that.
Machinaria. You have VVVVVV. I think Apathion's in there. You have Ape Out, Chicory. Fucking
Pizza Tower. I see.
Pizza Tower. I think is that
another
Isaac?
Guy from. It looks like Isaac. There's the other guy from that fighting game Arcane's from. I can't think of right now.
Yeah, from fucking Crag from Rivals of Ether.
Yeah.
The chick from One Shot.
Listen. Octodad main day one is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, this is one that,
that little guy.
It's out. It's now in early access. I bought it in those days. Like, guys, are we gonna do it? And there was like one of those silences in Discord. I'm like, I guess we're not gonna do it. So I have it. I have the early access build. It's one where I don't know if I've seen the community, and maybe I just haven't seen that side of the internet. But like, there is a portion of the internet that like is making custom characters for it, whether they're making their own characters, whether they're making like this indie character's not been in there. I'm sure we'll get things like Shovel Knight and Cuphead and who else not as official playing characters, but as like DLC once you can download through mods and everything else. I think we still have it was like 5 or 6 extra characters that haven't been announced yet. I don't know if there's any update since early access. But yeah, that one looks really cool. I definitely think it's one that like if we do like Steam remote play, now that like we used it for freaking River Tales Can I, and now I'm like, well, we plug it in and go. Like another game I got to play was Astro Duels at PAX, and they gave me a key for that. So thank you to the team. But that's one they're like, yeah, you can play it through Steam remote play. It's just Towerfall Ascension with like spaceships and gravity and stuff, which it was really fun to play. I said I got to sit along with the developer and like 2 other normies, and they were all like quiet and boring. So when I walked away, I'm like, hey, sorry, I forgot my phone. Let me grab that quick. And I was like, by the way, we kicked their fucking ass, dude. And like we got a laugh out of that. And like, here, take a Steam key. I'm like, you guys rock, thanks. But yeah, anyway, back to Framemakers. Yeah, Framemakers looks awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of that. I think it's like $20 right now on Steam for the early access. I just want to see more of the maps, more of the stages, more of the assists, and yeah, the evolution of the rest of Framemakers.
Yeah, I'm with it wherever it goes. I mean, Rivals of Ether was a lot of fun. This game looks like it's just going to continue that Smash like vibe, and I just can't wait to see where it goes.
For sure. Anyone else got thoughts on the Framemakers?
Dr. Dad
Cappy
fighting
Bears
game.
install.
Good game.
Okay.
Cappy Bears install. There you have it. But yeah, there's just a big chunk of the stuff that we got to play at PAX this past week. A few things we didn't. I also have some coverage again over on the 6-1 IndieCast. It was one of the shorter ones. I think it's only an audio one. Episode 182, if you want to hear me talk about a couple of these games a little bit more, as well as a few other games I didn't bring up today. We're talking about Kamikaze Last Planes. That's one we got to talk about.
Danny's favorite game.
And I will also be joining Jigga McCourt and Joseph Hooper, as well as Luke Lewis, on Crossplay Conversations, literally in about an hour from recording this one. So I'm going to rest my voice for a bit to go do that. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Playlog. Be sure to like the video. Guys, real quick, if you're going to go off, tell everyone where we can find you on the interwebs, starting with Connor.
Yeah, you can find me over at twitch.tv/H0B0monkey. It's Hobo Monkey, but that's what I had to get. You know how it is. Also on Twitter, I'm more active there than anywhere else, honestly. I mainly stream Monster Hunter on Tuesdays with our good friend Wes, and then kind of variety. I think right now I'm going to do a Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to say this now. I can't promise I'll commit to it. Full series playthrough, which might mean getting. Yeah, we're going to be playing games I'm not a fan of, but that's fine. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. So if you're into that and want to see me nerd out about it or get angry at it, which both will most likely happen, come check me out.
There you go. Can I?
So, I am currently in the process of wanting to get back into streaming because goddamn was PAX of Fire under my ass. And if you want to look forward for that return whenever it happens, it is twitch.tv/Dwarven Lion. But it is Dwarven_Lion. I am on Twitter at Dwarven_Lion as well. And I think on Instagram, I'm just Dwarven Lion. I am currently confirming that. Honey posted a video. I will have to look at that. Yes, Dwarven_Lion as well on Instagram. And you might be able to find me playing Capybaras somewhere along the way because I'm very excited for this.
Perfect. And Ben Starr.
Or well, the place you can find. Okay. So yeah, Chris RV2 on all socials. My camera will be working by the time, hopefully by this Friday. Because right now it just seems dead. But yeah, guys, I stream and I do stuff on all socials. Chris RV2. Again, much like Kanai, PAX was like fire under my ass, and if anything, it just like reaffirmed that. Nah, I wanna. This is my passion. I want to pursue it, and it's time to put the feet forward and start stepping. So we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff.
Thanks, Ben. Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe because we're always making indie content. I'm working on some loops and figures and stuff, and hopefully Playlog becomes a much more consistent thing. But you know what? Steps are important, so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.